What?
What's up, y'all? You're not gonna do the intro first. Don't hit the beautiful bean footage right after you hit the button. I'm gonna have to go over here and slap her. Does Charlotte got a choker, bitch? Can you tap that button over there? All right, look. Today we got a video on a Harlequin. Now, not Harley Quinn, Harlequin. A Harlequin is a clown or buffoon after the character in the comedic. Excuse me on this pronunciation. Commedia dell'arte type of buffoon clown goofball Mary Andrew, a person who amuses others by ridiculous behavior. Now, a Harlequin, the story of Harlequin and concubine in a is that concubine? I can't read.
Harlequin, who loves Columbine.
Sorry, y'all.
Columbine's greedy and foolish father, Pantaloon, evolved from the character Pantalone, who tries to separate the lovers in league with the mischievous clown and the servant Pierrot.
Thank you, Ansel, for that. So I like to put videos together, come up with theories and make sure y'all stay excited and everything. So a Harlequin romance novel is what we're going to work on today. And also we found out there's a disease called Harlequin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we go drop some knowledge on you hoe ass niggas. And so hit him with that beautiful bean footage. Line up the video right. Look at the top. Oh, I need help these days. You didn't line the video up.
Sorry, I didn't see it.
You're supposed to line it. I got it.
I feel like I need a little explanation why I'm talking about romance novels at a TED event. And here it is. So a couple of months ago, I was in New York on business. And as part of that trip, I met with one of the head ladies at a pretty serious financial publication. This was a sales meeting, but we actually spent most of our time talking about porn and gambling, because that's how girls do business. Okay, so long story short, the wisdom that she imparted to me was that the best investment, the most low-risk investment I could ever make, was in one of these two industries. And that was totally interesting to me because it actually meshed up very well with one of my personal obsessions. Not porn, human rebellion. When somebody tells us that we shouldn't do something or that we can't do something, it typically creates an equal and an opposite reaction. When you apply the same thinking to products and strategies, it gets even more fascinating. Sorry, I meant products and services. It gets even more fascinating because that typically results in tons of money. If you can create a guilty pleasure, not just any guilty pleasure, but a true vice, you will make money. It's funny how it works. And that is how we get into romance novels, because like cigarettes and like Gossip Girl, this is an industry that has succeeded in doing this massively, massively well. So let's get started with a few fun facts, because not too many people know how big this industry really is. So, romance novels make up just under 50% of the global paperback book market. This represents about $1.5 billion industry. 74 million people read romance novels very consistently, and by consistently, I mean there are 50% of this 74 million people that read a romance novel every 2 days. So here's another slide with a few more facts on it, but there's another one that I want to share with you, but I'm a little bit hesitant because I feel like there was a little bit of padding in there. But I'm going to do it anyway because it actually helps me interact with you in that kind of uncomfortable 50% chance that the person sitting next to you has chlamydia kind of way. Okay, here's that stat. 25% of Americans read romance novels, so that's 1 in 4 of you. So of that, maybe like 300 or 400 people sitting here in this room, if you guys perform like the typical Harlequin romance reader, you actually represent about $10,000 in monthly sales alone. So now I hope I've convinced you that this is a really big industry, but that always begs the question, where did this come from? So, for the sake of 6 minutes, that's a very loaded question, but for the sake of 6 minutes, we're going to say that it started with Jane Austen. Now, I don't want to offend any of the Jane Austen fans in the audience, so Very, very quickly, let's just remember that Jane held herself to much higher literary standards than what we see today. So here are some really good examples of that. But what Jane did do, and what she did very, very well, is she hacked into that part of the female brain that loves to fantasize about boys and babies. And more importantly, she proved that you can make money off of it. But it wasn't until about 60 years later that the category was strategically approached by a company called Harlequin. And at the time, Harlequin was just kind of a run-of-the-mill paperback book reprinting company based in Canada, of all places. And they were going through some really financially turbulent times. So as part of this turbulence, they brought in Mary Bonnycastle, who was actually the headhunter's wife. So they brought her in to take over editorial duties. And when she came in, she brought with her a love of a UK series of romance novels by a company by the name of Mills and Boon. The two struck up a conversation, and before long we had our very first romance novel in the U.S. So initially the content of these novels was very, very chaste. In fact, to this day, you don't really need to do anything more than bat an eyelash to be considered a romance novel. Oh, sorry, missed something. So in order to be considered a romance novel, you actually just have to confine to these two ancient qualifiers. So you need to focus on the romantic relationship between two people, or you need to have an emotionally satisfying and optimistic ending. So this is great, but this is also kind of boring. So lucky for us, Mr. Bonnycastle started poking around in the racier line of Mills and Boon's novels. And when he did, he was pretty into it. Not surprisingly. And then when he did a test of that content in the United States, he was really into it. And that's when this started happening. And that's also when the money started pouring in. Okay, so to a romance novel outsider, we look at these covers and these titles and we think, oh my god, what undersexed 60-year-old woman is running the marketing department? But actually, what's really going on in this, so romance novels are actually the most highly and heavily market research genre in the book industry. So everything that makes it into these books, whether it's the design or the title or the actual content, is a direct answer to the question, what do women want? If it's here, it's because it sells, and what sells is freaking hilarious. So these are the top 10 professions as indicated by market demand within romance novels. So you've got your doctor, your cowboy, nurse is actually a female profession in these books. My favorite is the unspecified boss. And it just kind of continues down into even higher levels of realism. Now this is the top 10 terms used in titles of romance novels, also as determined by market demand. So things like baby, bride, marriage, secret. It's kind of an uncomfortable look into the female psyche. And unfortunately, I don't have that much time tonight, so we're not going to get into that. But what I hope these two sites did show you is how we can wind up with titles like this. The Billionaire Boss's Secret Love Baby. Okay, so that's the history of romance novels in a nutshell. But where are they right now and where are they going? Okay, so romance novels, the romance industry has done an insanely good job of following market demand, following market interest, and also diversifying. So, they've gotten into a lot of partnerships, like things with NASCAR, who now have their very own line of Harlequin romances. But most importantly, and probably most pertinent to this audience, is that they have gone crazy in digital, and they are dominating it. And this is not just the Kindle. This isn't just things that you can hide behind a newspaper. The number one downloaded book for the iPad is a romance novel by Nora Roberts. And that's it. So thanks very much, you guys.
No. All right, Joe. So now you know what Harlequin romance is. Now we're gonna move on to what a hold on. Can you see? Okay, blah blah.
People need to understand that it's okay to be different. It's okay to not fit the norm because there is
You
no
didn't enlarge
norm.
it big enough. That's
When
why.
people
Look,
first meet teenager
You have one
Hunter
more to go.
Steinitz, many believe she's been the victim of horrific burns. In fact, Hunter was born with ultra-rare genetic condition Harlequin ichthyosis, meaning her skin is too thick and leaves Hunter with scaly, dry patches all over her body. Her arrival in the world was a shock for Mum Patty and Dad Mark.
You could tell in all of those individuals, those medical people in that room, their faces, right then, we knew I
Well,
knew
you're gonna run a
something was
paragraph. They got just one of
clearly
those.
wrong.
In the past, sufferers often died early because they missed vital defence barriers in their skin. Today, raised awareness and new medical techniques are helping people like Hunter live long lives. The condition poses many challenges for sufferers who would have to grow up in a world where people point, stare and react badly to them.
Jim was the worst. Because Jim, you're forced to be in physical contact with one another. People would flip out. And a lot of the time the teachers wouldn't do anything because they don't know how to react.
After years of harsh bullying, Hunter started to question things.
Maybe I deserved it. Maybe, I really was this freak and I was this different entity and I didn't deserve to be around normal people.
But not everyone was mean. Some pals like Samantha Beers stuck by her no matter what.
I've been friends with her since we were 3. She's always there for me when I need her.
With support from her true friends and loved ones like Dad Mark, Hunter turned a corner and began to change the way she saw herself.
I'd be a totally different person without it. My family would be different people. I wouldn't have the same friends. And so I owe everything about my life to, the disorder.
She recognizes that she can do whatever she chooses to do, and that there isn't anybody out there, regardless of the kind of confrontation that they provide her because of what she looks like, that can prevent her from doing it.
With a new lease of life, Hunter is now helping to educate others with motivational speaking.
People need to understand that it's okay to be different. It's okay to not fit the norm because there is no norm.
With a fresh outlook, Hunter is now preparing for life at university, and she's ready for anything.
For every one idiot who can't get it into their thick skulls, there's another 3 who are gonna open up to some level and who are gonna be able to see past it and be able to see me. I'm not normal and proud of it.
You come here. Come here. Well, while we wait for Ann So to bring her ass, we do got the Donald Trump impeachment video, but it's going to be in 2 parts because that motherfucker's long as hell. And make sure you subscribe to Ann So. And now Ann So is going to show you my pumpkins at my pumpkin house. And because Harley Quinn is the topic of this video, and she kind of reminds me of Halloween. So take that camera, aim at that stuff up, and move out your way. You have to let it unzoom it. Wait, y'all. Sorry about that. Wait a minute, y'all. Well, all you got to do is raise the. You got to just raise the camera. Yeah, up. No, raise it. Let's show them the shit. See, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pumpkins in this bitch. Hey, 8.
The pumpkin house.
It's awesome, yo. My mom, also known as Ann So, she got that for me. Because she knows how cool I am, and I like this shit. So, anyway, y'all know my slogan. Can you say it for me one time, baby girl? Fuck you, you don't know my slogan. It's sometimes your girl and all that other good shit. We out this bitch, yeah? Yeah? Give me a JK song. Oh, Lord, she fucking up. All right, we gotta go. Click.
Bye.